Saw a video this morning, and the video was okay, but he said something in it that kind of irked me up a little bit. He's talking about socialism, or they were doing things, the ICE was doing things like socialists, but they're fascists. We got to get this right, you guys. Socialism is an economic system. It's not a government system. Okay? So stop saying stuff like, "Oh man, they're trying to be like socialists whenever they're not." Like, yeah, they want free stuff. That's socialism. Anything that they say is like a government policy that gives out stuff is a socialist, and that's not what socialism is at all. Socialism is an economic principle. Okay, it has to do with labor rights and the division of the surplus and stuff like that. I mean, even Trump, he gets up on the stage, walking back and forth, talking about how socialists want to ruin our lives and take half our stuff and we're the enemies or whatever. That's unacceptable. That's totally unacceptable. That's old World War II, post World War II propaganda, anti-Soviet propaganda. And you know what? That's supposed to be like the American boogeyman, right? Socialism, socialists, watch out for they'll suck your blood. But then this in Russia, and Russia now, and in the Soviet Union when it was, Nazis, they're the big boogeyman over there. So everybody's got to have the boogeyman, right? To demonize so that we can gather all the people together if we demonize that group over there. But socialism ain't about like taking half your stuff or anything. I don't want corporations to like all be dissolved and go away. And I don't even want capitalism to go away, really. I want it to be modified. All right. I want it to be modified with co-determination. And that way, 50% labor in the corporate boardroom, and what do you got? You got workers' rights. You got voice in the corporate boardroom. But that alone ain't going to do it. You have to also have a nonpartisan Speaker of the House, because you'll never get co-determination with a corporate thrall partisan Speaker of the House. You got to have that in order to get the co-determination. Then once you get the co-determination, you got labor rights in the labor voice in the boardroom. Then you got more voice in the government, because the lobbyists coming from the boardroom going to the government will be taking labor's issues with them. But you have to have that nonpartisan speaker so those issues will actually get addressed. See, so actually, everybody would be better off. Left would be better off. The right would be better off, because things could get done without all these partisan bickering and fighting. And labor, they would be a lot better off. They wouldn't be like hating the government like they're doing right now. So get some co-determination in there. You need to like demand it. Demand your legislatures and stuff to have a nonpartisan Speaker of the House and co-determination. Whenever the Democrats get back in office or get back the majority in the House, which you know they're going to do next year, bam, make them have a nonpartisan Speaker of the House. All they have to do is write a rule, a House rule. There doesn't have to be any change to the Constitution. There doesn't have to be any amendments or anything. The House, they can dictate how to run the House. They can dictate a rule, nonpartisan Speaker of the House. And then, whenever one of you people are in Congress, because I know some of you are going to be running for Congress, I'll be happy to vote for you if you want co-determination, because you'll get up there in Congress and put a bill forth for national co-determination laws. And that way, unions, they can like organize the labor to vote for their half of the corporate boardroom. Then you won't have to worry about like right to work laws. You know, they do that all the time, name stuff all weird and everything, like right to work laws. Give me a break. That's like right to be fired laws. I was victimized by that right to work law garbage one time in Alabama. I busted a rotator cuff ligament. Pop! It pulled right off the damn bone. So I had to go to the doctor and get it sewed back on and go to physical therapy and all that. My my employer, they fired me. They said it was poor performance. They fired me for poor performance when I had a busted shoulder. So I sued their asses and got a whole bunch of thousands of bucks out of their ass because that was against the American with Disabilities Act. You can't go firing people for poor performance because they hurt themselves. Okay? But if that company had co-determination, that wouldn't even have happened in the first place because workers, labor reps would be in the corporate boardroom saying, hey, look, we can't be having all this kind of stuff. Besides that, we're getting sued like crazy and losing all kinds of money. Dig it? So, yeah, down in the South, it's really bad like that. And down there in the South, I remember when I was a young man down in Jacksonville, Florida, I'd work for temporary employment labor services because I didn't have a skill yet or anything, but I needed to work. So they'd send me out to these construction sites. You work your butt off. I mean, it's hard work down in Florida in that hot, hot sun working on construction. But I had a car, so lucky for me, I could carry some of the people to the job site and I'd get $2 each way from these people to carry them, you know. So I was getting extra money in my check taken out of their check. And then whenever people would go into the temporary workplace, they could get a bag lunch for a few dollars. I forget exactly how much. They could even get a pack of cigarettes from them at a real high price. So whenever they come back at the end of the day and get their check, because they got paid every day, they get their check, they'd have the ride deducted from it, the lunch deducted from it, the pack of cigarettes deducted from it. And by the time they got done, they would literally have like 15 bucks left over. I mean, that was back in the early 80s, you know, so, you know, figure the inflation rate or whatever. But most of those guys, they were like alcoholics. So they'd get their 15 bucks, go get some booze or whatever, and sleep in an alley, get drunk. And then the next day they'd be back in there. And it was like a hole that they couldn't get out of. And I don't know if that kind of thing is still going on in Florida, but it shouldn't be because it's like economic slavery. I was lucky to be able to get out of that. What I did is I just cut and run. I put my thumb out there and I went to California and started seriously looking for an aircraft job because that's what kind of job or training I had in the Navy. And I was letting it all go to waste working the damn, oh, never mind. Anyway, yeah, co-determination, y'all. Don't be demonizing socialism. If anybody tells you, you know, some bad thing about socialists, try to take half your stuff, tell them, look, it's the economic system. Go read a book. Go read Das Kapital. I'll tell you what, if you read Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, you'll see that the United States, they ain't doing hardly nothing like Adam Smith would want them to do. Adam Smith would be rolling over in his grave, and they all like act like Adam Smith was the greatest thing since Jesus or something. It's the capitalist Jesus, I suppose. But anyway, that's what I got. So hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you later. Oh yeah, and I'll probably be doing a live stream later on for some gaming. So take care, y'all. Bye-bye.